Hello, everybody. It's Epsilon Star, and today I'm joined with Petal for part two of our Make Your Mark Chapter 2 collaborative review. This time we'll be doing episode 4, and this will be exclusively on my channel. So if you're curious where Petal's episode 4 review is, it is on my channel.
Great. I'm excited to do this. Your channel's very cool. And we also did episode 3. That's on my channel.
Mm-hmm. So, first of all, what do you think of Opaline's role in this episode?
I thought this was one of my favorite uses of Opaline. I liked her plan to try to corrupt Sunny, and I especially like it played off of Sunny's fears. You know, Sunny has spent her whole life being ostracized by pony society. She's always been an outsider, and now she's finally being accepted. But, like, is it because she's an alicorn? Well, kind of it is. You know, there's a lot of ponies who really don't care what she has to say when she's not an alicorn. So I like dark side plays that actually work with the character who's being tempted. And I think this was a great weakness for Opaline to exploit. So overall, I really liked Opaline's role in this episode.
No, I agree with you. I like how she tried to corrupt Sunny. Also, a funny joke came out of it when she's like, your deepest desires will come true. And then Sunny was like, the community garden? And she's like, a community garden? That's your deepest desire? We'll work on that. That was funny.
I laughed at that moment.
And the thing is, like, wouldn't Sunny be able to hear that and think, oh, this is in my inner thoughts? But at the same time, from the way the shot was edited, it made it look like Opaline like left the mirror and like whatchamacallit, like basically left the reflection and was making a comment to herself. So I don't think she was necessarily talking to Sunny with that one.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't think about that.
Because it cut back to Opaline in her lair, not in the mirror.
It's true.
Yeah. But I also like how she was a lot more direct than she has been in the previous episodes. All the other episodes, she's just sending Misty to cause chaos.
Oh, that's one thing I have to complain about Opaline's role here. Misty's presence in this episode was completely superfluous. Misty didn't do anything. It was all Opaline, and this would have been a better episode if they hadn't, doubled down on throwing Misty into every episode to actually, see Opaline try to do it herself, sort of thing. And I think it was a good strategy. Ultimately, it didn't work because Sunny is pure and incorruptible. Like, of all the ponies to turn to the dark side, Sunny will be the last one. So it was never going to work, but it was a good try.
Next question. How do you feel about Sunny's portrayal in this episode? I know you have a lot of thoughts on this one.
Oh, yeah. I think I already touched a little bit on, I really like Sunny, not just in this episode, but throughout Chapter 2 of Make Your Mark. This is the new high watermark for Sunny's character. I like her more here than in the movie, even. She's so nice, and, well, nice is one word. Let's see. She's so optimistic and so idealistic. She's trying so hard. Actually, it's adorable. Like, it's clear that she's a little carried away sometimes. Like, oh, we all need... like when she puts the giant no sign on French fries, that's not going to go over well. But she's just trying to help make the world a better place. And I love, she's just so pure in Make Your Mark. I really feel like she's coming into her own as a distinct character beyond just, I am the protagonist.
I am Twilight 2.0, except I'm not as nerdy.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like I could describe in basic terms most of the G5 characters. I am like Izzy. I am Pinkie Pie, but less crazy, unless you're counting Tiger Tail. But I am Rainbow Dash, but less egotistical. I am Rarity, but less glamorous. I am, or I wouldn't say less glamorous, but less like obsessive, dramatic. Dramatic, I would say less dramatic. I feel like all the G5 characters embody traits of the G4 characters. We mentioned this in our episode 3 review, but they're a little bit more subtle. Anyway, let's back to Sunny.
Yeah, I feel like
Um,
she's really earned her spot as like being her own character at this point.
Also, I like that we saw Sunny like break down. Like we saw her like get frustrated and upset and question her identity. Like I really liked seeing that. Like especially as like a queer person, like it's like whatchamacallit. It felt real. Like I like seeing her break down and question. Well, I mean, in this case, it wasn't like should I follow what society likes of me or should I follow what I like about myself?
Yeah.
Like I liked seeing that, especially because so far from the character traits we've seen of Sunny, she's like in Tell Your Tale, she's happy, but she kind of is. She's dramatic. Like she'll over exaggerate. Like even in this episode, well, actually in this episode, I feel like it was more justified. But like that one episode in Tell Your Tale with the bananas, where she had like a little a slip, the banana slip, and she was like hiding in her room.
So this is a character
Like
trait of Sunny's that I've been tracking since the movie when
yeah,
she had this overblown reaction to the two crystals not working. Um,
yeah. I mean,
they've used it over and over again. Sunny overreacts. She gets really emotional really quickly.
yeah.
This is actually like an established character trait that she has. But it was more
I like
justified
this
this
character
time
trait.
because it's kind of playing off of her childhood fears, like, well, not her
Yeah.
childhood fears, but her whole life experience of being ignored and sidelined. Yeah, it was a legitimate fear.
No, I definitely agree. Especially like another character trait I noticed is she likes to make puns, like dry puns that never land. Like especially in Tell Your Tale. Like that's another one. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Sunny's such a bland character. Sunny sucks. Sunny doesn't do anything. And I'm like, if you actually pay attention, Sunny does have character traits.
Oh yeah, the only reason people are saying that is because they're used to being spoon-fed character traits like how it was in G4. Like, let me
Yeah.
exaggerate this to the 10th degree. Um,
Yeah. There was
Sunny totally has a personality and totally has character traits. They're just toned down compared with how it was in G4.
yeah. How do you and my next question, what did you think of the animation in this episode?
Oh, um, I didn't notice it being any better or worse than
Yeah.
most of chapter two. So I would say better than chapter one, but definitely still with flaws. Was this
Yeah.
another one of the episodes where Jazz's ears disappear? Probably.
Yeah, but the thing is, I noticed with like the final product, her ears never show up. Like her, I didn't notice her ears showing up at all. So I'm thinking that they just removed her ears to make her more unique design and make her mark. Even though she has them in Tell Your Tale, I'm aware of that. But I feel like they just at this point, it's just an intentional thing that
It's kind of
they
a
just did it.
weird decision.
I know it's a weird choice, but I noticed that even shots where she had her ears in the trailer, they were removed. So from what I
Yeah,
noticed.
interesting.
Um, Also, like, I noticed that in this episode, something I like about G5 is that the background ponies are all unique models for the most part. Even
Yeah.
though there's less background ponies, they're all unique models. This episode, this is the main thing I wanted to comment on. That one, I think it was like the Philly Four or whatever, the one pop group that was competing with Pip. Um, they were all the same model, just recolored. I don't know if you noticed that. Besides Misty, they were all the
Oh
same
yeah,
model.
I didn't notice that,
Yeah,
but now that you've got me thinking about it, you may be right. Which is
yeah,
kind
they're
of
all this.
upsetting because Sugar Moonlight was such a great design.
Yeah, I know. Um, like I noticed that right away, and I'm thinking this is weird for G5 because like it wasn't out of place in G4. They always reuse the same character models as backgrounds, but like in G5, there's just I've noticed that they're going with quality over quantity,
Yeah, that is odd.
like or uniqueness over quantity or quantity. Yeah, but in this episode, they just reuse the same model three times.
That's
Also,
frustrating.
there's another instance where they fixed an animation error from the trailer. When Sugar Moonlight was taking a selfie with Sunny,
Oh
in the
yeah.
trailer her phone was invisible.
Yeah, I
But
noticed this
they
one.
actually fixed that and they actually gave her her phone. I like how they're actually it kind of shows that the crew actually does care about the show and that they
Yeah.
fixed because they've been fixing animation errors besides the jazz with no
And it
ears thing.
seems like
But like,
by the time the trailer comes out, that's pretty late in production. So to go back and
yeah,
fix stuff at this point, yeah, good job.
what personally how I think is the trailer is like a really early version of, or not really early, but an earlier version of the product. Like they make the trailer while they're in the middle of animating. Like it's probably like after like they finish rendering everything, but like haven't finished cleanup yet, like the cleanup stage. Like
Yeah. I did
I
notice
feel
that
like
in
when
chapter one as well, they kind of showed us the worst scenes in the trailer. Nothing got fixed in chapter one, probably because they just ran
yeah,
out
I
of
noticed
time.
that.
But they kind of showed us the worst scenes in the trailer of
Yeah,
chapter one. It looked really awful, and there a lot of people, including me, like to bash on the chapter one animation, but there are actually some scenes that look okay.
yeah, I agree. Something I noticed though that they fixed from chapter one. Did you notice that the characters' lips would just be white in random shots?
How the
Like it
characters'
looked like
what
they
would
were
be
wearing
white?
white, like their lips would be like white, and they'd have like look like they'd have white lipstick on.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
Um, I barely know. I think I noticed it like a couple times in chapter two, but it wasn't nearly as frequent.
On that same note, the eyelids. Some of them have eyelids that are different colors from their eyes. Mainly Sunny. Hers are like golden. Is that on
That
purpose or
makes
is it a rendering error?
it might be a rendering error because I mean a lot of people were like, "Oh, all the ponies are just wearing lipstick." It kind of looks like they are, at least in chapter one. It looked like they were all wearing white lipstick, but it was just an animation error. I'm thinking because there was this one guy on YouTube who kind of went into the animation of chapter one. He actually worked on a Maritime Bay Adventure. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, DJ Fed.
Yeah. He was talking about how like the lighting worked and how the characters were being overexposed a lot of the time.
Yeah. I assume that's the same problem that causes Izzy's tired eyes in chapter one.
Yeah. Like currently I'm working with photography right now, and it's a huge thing is overexposure of an image. It can make or break an image, the exposure.
Well,
Like
I wouldn't know.
I know I'm sorry, I'm going into a tangent, but yeah. Um anyway, next question. What did you think of Pip's role in this episode? Because Pip had a side or had a B plot in this episode.
Oh yeah. I kind of liked seeing Pip challenged. She's such a
Yeah,
successful pony, and she's been that way from the start. Like, I mean, from when she was tiny, you can see in these pictures how much confidence she has. So
yeah,
to have Pip actually struggle to try to recover popularity,
yeah.
is interesting. I like it.
I have a couple things to say. One, I liked how she addressed that she puts her worth on social media. Like I liked how she addressed. She's like, "Yeah, I'm totally not putting my worth on other ponies giving me likes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
totally not doing that."
I caught that.
Like I know I feel like that's another like thing, like how I mentioned in the last review, how she was always like taking selfies and it like and all this stuff, and how it could be setting up for a character flaw. This episode hammers it in how she literally was doubting her like how she was acknowledging that the unhealthiness of social media. I feel like it's leading to something.
Could be.
Also in general I kind of thought her antics were a little cringy.
Oh yeah,
um
some of that stuff was like, eh. Of course, there wasn't actually at the end of the episode, there wasn't a video she made that went viral. So we don't know that she really recovered her popularity. That's kind of a hanging question at this point.
yeah, I know like do you read the G5 comics? I haven't really been keeping up with them, but from what I've seen, they're kind of bland.
Oh, no. After Twilight created the crystals and doomed the world, I was like, I'm out. Yeah, I don't read those.
Oh my gosh. You know how that was actually really funny when you were like when you were like, "Oh no," the recording glitched out, and you were like, "No, no, 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 no."
Yeah,
That was funny.
that's funny.
Yeah. Personally, don't get mad at me. I don't mind the idea of Twilight creating the crystals. I don't mind it. I feel like if they do it right, it could make sense. If they explain it well, it would. I mentioned this to you before, but I feel like I feel like it was like a last resort, and I feel like a lot of like the caveats of the crystals, like them being authoritarian and all this stuff, like taking away people's magic over little arguments. Twilight probably didn't even mean for it to happen. It probably was like inadvertent. Like she didn't mean it.
Well, I mean, of
Like
course they're gonna like spin it to make Twilight still look as good as they can. Like
yeah.
she didn't mean for them to become so controlling and like it was a ditch resort, but it's still a stain on her record. I mean, if it was a last ditch resort, that basically means Opaline defeated Twilight Sparkle. That's not okay.
That's true. It makes
You can't just beat the hero of G4 off screen between G4 and G5 to make your G5 villain look good.
it makes Twilight
That's like
look
a
weak.
big no-no.
It makes Twilight look weak. I understand what you mean. I feel like the only good explanation would be to make Opaline Twilight's daughter.
Ah,
I feel like that could explain why she didn't just kill Opaline or steal her in a crystal or seal her in stone or something like that. I'm taking actually this is from another MLP theorist. I forgot who it was, but um I'll probably put them. I have to rewatch the video and I'll put it into like the description because I don't want to discredit I don't want to take their theory, but and use it as my own. But I liked their theory about it, like how Opaline could have possibly been like Twilight's daughter. Oh, I'm pretty sure it was MLP Fever who made that one.
oh, I stopped watching MLP Fever.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of her content, but I don't remember if it was MLP Fever of a different one. I don't like how negative she is about G5. She
Yeah.
keeps like posting videos about it, but she has made it very clear that she hates G5. She's literally just doing it to make money at this point. I
Yeah.
don't like that. If she really hated G5, she would stop making content about it. But this is not a bash on MLP Fever video. This is a episode 4 review. So I'll probably cut this out.
Yeah, that'd probably be for the best.
I am not trying to bash MLP Fever in my review. Okay. Anyway, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So next, anyway, back to Pip. I feel like her antics are really cringy. I do not like when anyone who isn't a baby is imitating baby things. It makes me It makes me so frustrated.
Yeah. I didn't like that bit either. The
Like when
apples
Pip was
hitting her face
crying.
was funnier than that.
No, I thought the apples hitting her face was funny, and I like the compilation Sparky accidentally made. I feel like that was funny, but I didn't like the crying bit. I just felt like that was the cringiest part. Anyway, what were your overall? Any other thoughts on the episode?
Oh yeah. Here's one. One of the Philly Four accidentally calls Misty Minty. Exploded when that happened.
That was funny.
Really
I remember that.
Actually, I was really hoping for Minty in G5. I hope a little less now that Posey has kind of been botched, but like it would still be cool as a background.
There was a background pony in Tell Your Tale that looked a lot like Minty. I was like, oh, is that Minty? But then they revealed her cutie mark and it was like a camera.
Yeah.
That was upsetting because she looked just like Minty. She had her color scheme. She had she had like the pinkish hair with like the mint green body.
Yeah.
But it turned out not to be Minty.
Ponies reappearing. Auntie Buttons. Izzy refers to her unicorn ancestor, Auntie Buttons. That's Buttons from G1. There's no way around it. Izzy looks so much like Buttons. This is canon now.
Also, they in like a G4 book, they or not G4, G5, like noveliz. It wasn't a novelization. It was like a children's book.
Overall, I like this episode. I mean, there are a couple things that don't work. Misty doesn't work so well in this episode. I think Opaline does work decently well. Sunny is great. Pip is okay. Yeah, overall, this episode works. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you for having me on your channel. The next review I do will just be episode 5. It'll just be a normal review, not collaborative. Until then, peace out.